So today we're going to go over breaking down pricing and packages. So I've sent agency coach Lee Goff my pricing, and he's going to put me in the hot seat right now to see where there's flaws and where I can improve, and also help clarify so we can convert more customers faster with better offers.
Exactly. Okay, so the very first question is kind of to get started. We're going to do kind of a generic question around how I typically prescribe my pricing to my clients, right? And so what I typically do is I have a thing that's called a productization. Everybody's been hearing about productization lately, and I actually have a productization framework that I coach my students on, and we call it it's the Legos. It's like Legos, but we can't legally use Legos, so we call it's objects. Yeah, they end up like little magic objects, right? And like object-oriented programming is kind of for anybody out there that's done any programming. So, point being is that every one of your individual products need to be an individual Lego that can be attached to other Legos and build out the perfect solution for everyone. And it works wonderful. It has been so successful. And then that leads me to the next question. We came up with some hot seat questions. So I highly recommend that you go in the direction to wrap up the first question. What do I typically prescribe to my students for pricing? And that is going to be the productization. You're not going to get 100% everything into the productization. You'll have some custom stuff in there. So it's kind of a balance. That's typically what I prescribe. Now to the hot seat part. What do I think about your pricing? Okay. And I'm going to share my screen so they can see what I'm looking at over here. Okay. All right. So Rahul kind of sent me some information to some of his pricing to kind of go through here. And you'll see I've got the questions over here. These are the questions that I've been thinking on for the last couple of days on how to basically beat up on him, right? So first and foremost, this is supposed to be a hot seat, but I got to give you a lot of credit, man. This is actually, it's good. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to do the sandwich. Okay. So I'm going to be really good here, nasty here, and then really good here. Okay. You know what I'm talking about, the sandwich?
Let's do it. I love it. Hey, I can't get better if you don't beat me up. You can't.
And that's where it came from, by the way. The reason we're doing this is because he and I were talking about all this. Everybody trying to be so damn nice nowadays, but iron sharpens iron. And so without you actually getting out there and getting from people with experience who's been doing this for a while, getting that kind of feedback, that constructive criticism. Don't be a jerk. Don't be rude, but positive, constructive criticism is how you get better, right? So, all right, let me get in here real quick, okay? So, one, your descriptions are dramatically too open-ended, okay? Are you kidding me, man? Advertising copy, you get an unscrupulous client, and they're going to say, man, they're going to be, whoa, man, everybody says the copy's got to be long-form copy. It's got to be long. It's got to be over 5,000 words, and only after 5,000 words will they even entertain converting. And we all hear it. We all know that the math is there. We all know it works. Right? So what are you going to say to them when you know that they're right? But they're right. So they very much have the right to do that and say, give me my money back at any point in time. Right?
Good question for you.
Right?
Good question for you. Like because this is the service pricing, not the actual contract. Do you think I should keep it open-ended for conversational pieces, saying like, hey, the advertising copy will have a long form and a short form for Facebook ads, and here's what those look like?
So here's how you do that. And see, a lot of people think that having to define it that much is actually a negative, and it's actually not a negative. And let me explain what I mean by that. So let's just use landing page as an example. Very similar, right? Landing, and this is a BSL. This can be a short form. It can be a squeeze. It can be a long form. It can be short form. There's a lot of different types of landing page. So if you put on here like video sales letter landing page, all you do is describe it. And to them, they're like, cool, man, a video sales. Remember, most of them are not going to know the difference between a VSL and a short form and a long form or a squeeze. Makes sense. They're not going to have any idea that those are 4 different things. So just put in there video sales landing page. You get to pick from these 5 proven templates. You even told them that they're going to have to pick from a template, but these templates have been proven because you've been out there using them and you know that they work. People would prefer that than getting all kind of custom that you're guessing with their money. So just tell them what you're doing. Make sense? Be a little more descriptive right there. You really, and what it does is it opens it up for a dialogue in the sales process. They're like, hey, what is video sales? They're like, well, I've been hearing about long form, and you're like, great, we can totally do one. Now it's not, this is a product, so it's what you're talking about is custom. So we'll have to pull it outside of this, and it's going to be instead of a $1,750 setup fee, it's going to be it'll be a $5,000 setup fee, and then you get into the monthly. Does that make sense? So now you get those large upfront project pricings on the custom work, but understand that if they go outside of the product line right here, that it's going to be double, if not triple, of what the templated stuff is, because you've pre-framed it as a product line. Nobody ever expects to go in and take a product off the shelf and customize it for cheaper than what you buy it off the shelf. That never happens, okay? Nobody ever thinks that way. So if they take a product off the shelf, and they say, hey, look, I like this, but I want to take this out, and do this, they are automatically going to assume that it's going to cost a lot more money. And they should, because it does. That's one of the ways you can get out there and get paid what you're really worth, is establish a value-based pricing model around products and then get it going. Be descriptive in your language right here. Explain to them exactly what they're going to get. Because have you ever had anyone come back on this landing page and say, hey, I thought it was going to be this kind of landing page. Can I get that instead?
From time to time, I have. For the most part, we drive everything in the sense of follow our lead. Don't tell us the lead. That's why we were hired. I intentionally was leaving it open-ended to not have too much dialogue so we can move to the close. But I like what you're saying. I can basically put a space underneath it and say, choose from one of our proven templates, and then leave it at that. I won't go into like,
You're providing value to them. Think about that from their perspective.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, great. Thank goodness they've done this before, right? Proven, right? They got templates that work, proven, right? And it's easy. I just pick a freaking ticket and I'm done.
Now, going up a level, the advertising copy, should I identify it based off like word count or how much?
I think the way you have, yes, we write the content for you. I think that actually helps a little bit, but I would definitely define, we give it, in this particular case, give it like a philosophy or something. Our short form advertising copy has been proven over the years to work great. So you're defining what it is, but in other words, we have found that in our formula, in our formula, right? The 700 word count works great. We've got 6 or 7 different ways we can show you, and then we'll write it for you. So what you're doing is you're giving them examples. You're explaining how long it's going to be, so they can pick from the examples that they like. That kind of sets the tone, right? Mm-hmm. They know it's going to be shorter text, 500 to 700 words, whatever it is. And then now you've got to kind of get them back into a corner. But again, for them, it was easy. I would even go as far as to say, like, emotional, painful, happy, sad, whatever it is. Like the copy that you're writing can have different themes or emotions to it, and let them pick the one that they want. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because what you're doing is you're defining it, but by defining it, you're providing more value through the definition. Through defining the product in more detail. A lot of people think that that's backing them into a corner. The reality is it's actually backing their clients into a corner. Because when they come back and say, hey, listen, I thought it was going to be this. I just got through reading about this. I saw this on Google. I saw this on Facebook. You can't have that stuff come back on you. But if you don't have it clearly defined right here, then it will. There's a good chance that it's going to come back on you. Okay, and I'm positive it already has in your world. Now, you probably handle it very well, but a lot of people out there that are in agencies don't have an assertive personality. So when somebody pushes on them and says, hey, I thought this was going to be this, they will just instinctually go like, oh, my bad. They almost like feel like it's their fault. And I want to get that message out there to you. What's really happening here is almost always it's a communication gap. It's an expectation gap. So they don't know. A lot of times when they're asking for a long form, they don't know what that means. They don't have a damn clue what the hell that means. They just saw something last night. Mm-hmm. So it's okay for you to push back. And again, the more you define it here, the more leverage you have in pushing back. Therefore, you don't get into scope creep issues.
Right.
Kind of got off on a little tangent there, but hopefully all that made sense. So,
yeah, 100%.
All right, good deal. So I'm going to skip number 3 and come back to it in a second. Okay, should I assign values to each line item? You're damn right you should. No doubt about it. Like, in other words, landing page right here. Okay, this is going to be, $790. If you bought it by itself, it's $797. If you bought this one by itself, again, it's $997, whatever the hell it is. Does that make sense? Right. It all adds up. It is value stacking. I know how cheesy it is. I'm not even arguing how cheesy it is. It works, buddy. I'm talking about like I'm gonna tell you real quick. This is how I answer the cheesy thing. Pretty much 99% of people who go to a grocery store, they're gonna buy cheese, milk, and eggs. What I'm talking about? It is what it is. Or does it make sense? It's like, I don't care if it's cheesy or not. If people want it, it works for them. That's psychology. Same thing on the $7.97 or the 99 cents. Mm-hmm. We all know it's cheese. We know 99 cents is $1. But it doesn't matter. I'm telling you, the 99 cents people move. More people move at that number than they do a dollar. Go figure, right? So always, if you're in the position to value, what you're doing there with number 4 is value stacking, right? Should I assign values to each line item? That's called value stacking, okay? And so, for example, let me give you this VIP 5-star service. What I would recommend my students do is to put a 5-star service package. That's $97 a month. The VIP 5-star service package, that's $397 a month. Mm-hmm. I don't even give a damn if the damn 5-star service. I mean, it needs to. I would hope that it would exist, but in other words, like show them that this is. I'm not giving you the cheap one. I'm not giving you the $29 a month service here. I'm giving you the 5-star VIP 5-star. But to them, they're like, you just totally make that up. You just totally yank that out of your ass, and of which you might possibly could have. But show them that this is a legit product. This is like, here's one for $97. Here's one for $297. And by the way, I have an elite. Whatever, instead of VIP, it's whatever, platinum, 10-star service or whatever it is. That's even more, $497. So now they can add on that if they would like to. Okay. Now, how do I suggest being paid in full for 12 months? Okay. Typically, if you're going to get them to pay for a 12-month, you just got to incentivize them, right? So, and I see here you do have 1 month. You waive. With a 6-month agreement, you waived 1 month, I think is what it is. Or that might have been the one.
I think that's what the math rate came out to.
Okay, right there. 1 month.
1 month free.
Yeah, if you pay for
the year.
Yep. Typically, here's what I would do in this particular case. I would go. I probably wouldn't even entertain annual unless they bring it up at first. And let me kind of hear me out on this one. So. Typically, it's better to get them hooked on the drug before you try to get them to buy the whole drug shop or whatever. Get them hooked on driving a car, and then all of a sudden, when they got to bring the car back to the car dealership, they're like, "I really love that car. I really want that car." Right. So, what I would suggest is I would reframe this whole thing. Come in and get 1 month. First month is half off. Okay, just to get you in to see how awesome this is, and then you better rock it. You got to, just rock it. Just make sure. I don't care if you even lose $1,000 in that first month or within reason. Don't try to lose money, but you have got to rock it out. They have got to see that damn the emails coming into their inbox. Click, click, click. They've got to see it, and then whenever you get to the end of that first month. You're going to go in there and say, okay, it's going to go up to $1,500 a month now. And they're like, they're thinking, man, there's no way I can cut this off. My God, I got 25 leads, right? And then tell them, but now they are ecstatic. So when you drop a 12-month agreement in front of them and say, I'll give you 2 months for free, so it'll be $15,000 flat. I'm telling you right now, once you've got them hooked on that drug and you do a $15,000, you get 2 months for free for the annual kind of agreement, you're going to get people to move on that. People will definitely move on that. So, in other words, I like what you're doing with the 1 month for free, but you're not pre-framing it enough with the pleasure pain kind of thing. Fear of missing out, hope to gain. Okay, or don't ever forget that. That's the reason people make decisions, right? So right now there's not enough pain to get them to move on the $16,500 price point. But why would they? You have month to month. Mm-hmm. And I know that you're gonna offer me that discount at any time I ever ask for it.
Right.
Okay, so there is no reason for them to move at all. Matter of fact, they can get to the month 10 and say, hey, I want to sign the annual agreement for next year. They're going to say, give me 1 month free this year. Well, they're going to leverage that to their best of their ability.
Right.
So what I would do is I would redo the positioning in this and give them a BOGO or a half price or something, kind of hook them to that way you can get a lot more volume in the door. And then once you've got that volume coming in and you got them hooked on the drug, at that point, hit them for the $15,000 a year to get them not locked in.
Right. Okay. So basically have a naked contract to close the deal month to month, first month half off, and then get them show them the results. And then during the process of month 1, start to prepare them for a $15K upfront deal.
Exactly. I mean, you're delivering unbelievable, overwhelming value. They're meeting with their project manager once a week. They're getting emails about value add stuff because you can put in videos training on this. I mean, just you can value stack the Hades out of that first month because you have a fixed time frame. You got 30 days to just really rock their world. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And at that point, at the end of that month, they're like, "Oh my God, Rahul is the shit." I mean, this guy's the bomb, and I can save $3,000 by signing up for the year. Now there's enough pain, there's enough reward. They're like, okay, now I can do this. Hold on. Before I sign this, let me go talk to the CEO. He might do that annual thing. And now it's a legitimate conversation that you can have. And I'm telling you, you get a whole lot of people. You'll get people. I would predict that 25 to 35% of the people that you did it under that methodology would convert in a one-time pop. So
yeah.
They've seen the value. Their ass is not on the line now. They can go show results to the CEO owner. Look, this is what they did in the first month. This is awesome. They got us 42 leads or 22, whatever the hell it is. You know what I'm saying? We've already closed one of them, which is already paid for their fees. I really think we should save the money and go ahead and bite off the 1 year deal. So that kind of scenario. Okay. All right. Okay. I would 100% have this pricing on your website because, again, this is what's called productized pricing. I understand that if you are just doing like time and materials or hourly, that you don't want to put your pricing on your website, and I agree with that. But it's different when you have productized pricing because the actual products themselves establish as a baseline, right? So that's a baseline for everything else. So the act of them seeing the prices for your products on your website will do a lot of different things. One, it's going to weed out the idiots that can't afford you in the first place. Okay, let's call it what it is. We all know that a big chunk of the people you're talking to, just can't afford what you do, right? It is what it is. So the more you can pre-frame that on your website, the better. You're not going to have as many sales calls, but the sales calls you have will be a lot better. Okay. Then at that point, again, they see that if it's a product, okay, and they want to customize that product, there's nobody in the world who ever thinks that they're going to go to the Mercedes dealership and say, I want a color that you don't offer, Mercedes, okay? Here are the 10 colors you offer. I want some of a strange, funky color over here. And Mercedes is going to be awesome. That'll be $10,000 cheaper than what it would have been if you would have just gotten one of our colors. If that ever happens to you, I want the video. I want you to prove me wrong, but I will bet my bottom dollar that will never happen, okay? And so under that context, when they see the pricing on your website, they see it front and clear right there. Nobody's hiding it. It's been value stacked. It's a good little discount. No one's ever going to think it's going to be cheaper. So you can always go up. Now you're going to pay.
And I want to point out, I like the way you frame that because most people would say it will cost $10,000 more. I like the way you said it is. It'll be $10,000 less if you go with our standard packages. So it's kind of like just that flip of how you said that. I just wanted to point that out because again,
because and let them know. Listen, this is a product that we have systems in place. As soon as I pull the trigger on this, I don't have to do any of this. This boom, here my gerbils, here they go, boom, the hamster wheel gets the kicking, right? Now, if you get the custom stuff, then you are going to get me because I'm going to have to come in and do a lot of it. I'm going to have to come in and oversee it. I'm not going to be doing it, but I'll be overseeing. It's going to take my time, basically. Right. So anytime somebody comes into your agency and you have to break your process for any damn reason, I don't care what the reason is. It's bad, real bad. The minute you break process is the minute you lose, 25 to 30 to 35% productivity. Just like that, instantly. You have to go stop them what they're doing. You have to interrupt their day. You have to explain what the custom is. You have to get all that stuff. You got to set up, break down everything, right? Everything else is a checklist. Okay, I sold this. Great, go. Now you sell something custom. You got to turn around and explain it all. You got to break systems. You got to break process. So no matter what, if they're breaking system, breaking process, then the price needs to go way the hell up. So. And the last question were the add-ons. Where did it go? They are add-ons. Here we go. I see. I like these. Again, you need to define them a little bit better. So let me give you an example. Okay. One of the things that have been very popular actually with my students, and I would recommend, I hope if you're watching this, you can definitely adopt this, is you define exactly what an advertising campaign looks like. So let me explain, and it can be, let's say this up above it was Instagram, and now instead of Instagram it says Facebook. So picture Facebook being right here, okay? Or I guess it doesn't matter, but anyway. Point being is this: a Facebook campaign or an Instagram campaign is one campaign, two ad sets, Okay. Right. And then 5 ads per ad set, 10 ads. Right. So we're going to get you 10 ads in Facebook for $500 a month. That sounds a hell of a lot better than just an Instagram advertising.
Yeah.
Okay. But guess what else you just did? You totally just defined it down to literally exactly what one campaign looks like. 2 ad sets. Each ad set is a unique pain point. So let's say I'm selling a back scratcher. Okay. Well, the pain point is that I can't get that one little spot. Okay. So I'm going to have a big guy or a yoga girl stretching out to get that one spot, or I'm really going to drive that pain point home. Right. The other one is they break, or I don't know, whatever the hell the other one is. They break too fast. They're made out of shiny material or whatever it is. So now you can drive the point home. It's like, hey, if you had a back scratcher and it broke, this one is whatever bamboo, or this one's whatever. This one's carbon fiber, it'll never break, or whatever. Right? Again, whatever the hell the pain point is. Then you got 5 ads really driving the point home about how it stretches further than the other ones, and the other one about how it'll never break because it's carbon fiber. That is what a campaign looks like. So now it's clearly defined. So because again, in their mind, Instagram advertising could mean a lot of different things. That can be video ad. That can be a lot of different things. Lots and lots and lots of different things. So what you do is define what the add-ons are in a little more detail. It's going to back them into a corner. It's going to solidify your profit margins. It's going to make it easier to sell, and it's just everything will run smoother at that point. So.
Now, when I put this on my website, I'll clean everything up and rewatch the video. Do you think I should make it so it's like don't actually have the price, have them opt in to request pricing, so I build them in my database, and then I can email them it or give them access on the next page. And then basically I want to kind of maybe even consider doing a video walkthrough of the different packages and who it's best for at their stages.
I wouldn't get them to opt in for pricing. I would put the pricing just not gated on the site. Now, the way that most you ever seen my lead harvesting webinar, the 4.92%? You ever seen that before? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So let me try to explain this. Okay. In your target audience, let's say you got 100 people, right? That make up your entire target audience, your prospect pool. Okay. Well, out of that 100 people, only 4 of them are actually going to make a decision on what you do in the next 30, 45, 60 days. Okay. Typically it's about 30, 45 days, somewhere around that time. There's another 4% right behind them. Okay. They're in what's called the in-depth research phase. They're going to make a decision 45, 60, 90, maybe 120 days, 3-4 months out. Okay. Right behind them, you have what's called the 92%. That's the young married couple that just got married, but they're not planning on having kids for a few years. But, the wife, the newlywed. So we'll see, I don't know, the dad sees a soccer ball. He played soccer. He's, I'd like to get this for the little boy. Or, so he clicks on the soccer ball. The mom sees a stroller, or she's going to think, might have a little girl. So she's checking on American Girl dolls or whatever the hell, right? And we all do it. We all do it. But over time, okay, you'll eventually come back. They will have that kid. They will remember, that American Girl is so cute. They will bring it back in, right? So what you got to do is you got to try to catch them on that 92%. So let me explain what I mean. By the time they're getting to see your pricing, okay, by the time they're even looking at these product lines right here, they most likely, they've already interacted with your brand. They know who you are. They've read a lot of stuff. They've already done their in-depth research phase. See what I'm saying? So by the time they get to the point where they're actually going to engage with you on a proposal, the odds are they know good about you, and they've already checked the pricing and everything. They've already seen all that. So back over to the 92%, when they're just kicking tires, kind of just throwing around, you diversify your lead magnets. So you get 5 to 7 or 7 to 9 pain point driven lead magnets. So when they're just kicking tires in that 92%, at that point is when they'll opt in and get that, and you'll see, and you'll actually build a prospect profile. It's called buyer identifiers. Okay. And you can actually go in and you'll see, great, I saw you did this. I saw you did it. Let's talk about that real quick. Are you even want to do Instagram ads or whatever that pain point is, right? Now it guides you straight down into it. And they're like, holy crap, Rahul, you're brilliant. You're awesome. Again, I got off on a little bit of a tangent there, but does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
So just ungate the content and then get them into a lead magnet. So we have the drip going and identify the buyers now, then the buyers 90, and then the majority are going to be the long-term nurturers.
Well, and exactly, you remain focused on that 92%, because trust me, when somebody raises their hand and says, "Hey, I want to give you money," you're definitely going to focus on that front. Are you kidding me? We all always put all of our effort into that front 4%, right? Mm-hmm. And if you not, then you're an idiot. I mean, if you're not paddling that proposal, I don't know how to tell you that. Make sure you focus on closing those deals down. But your actual lead harvesting, your marketing, your advertising and marketing efforts need to be around that back 92%. Because then you're getting them early and you're indoctrinating them and you're building a buyer profile. So if you do it here, by the time they get here, it's like giving candy to a baby. You know what I'm saying? It's super easy. So.
No, I love that. I mean, and that's what a lot of people don't understand, is that they're going for the kill versus the long game.
Well, everybody can relate to dating analogies. Okay, I like using dating analogies because I don't care, black, white, purple, yellow, green, gay. I don't care. We can all relate to the emotion behind the dating analogies. Make sense? So I don't care. You walk into a bar or a restaurant or a small group or whatever it is, and you just meet someone within a matter of 5 minutes. Okay, in a bar, you just bought them a drink. At the small group, you just had opening prayer or whatever the hell it is, and you go straight. Hey, you want to go home with me tonight? You kind of, hey man, I mean, how about you back the hell off? You know what I'm talking about? Back off. And so that's what a lot of people are doing, is they're just going in there and saying, "Come on with me, come on, please, 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 please." They're begging them. When the reality is, you should have been putting credit into that for a long time. And by the time you get to the point, if you're again, wherever it is, and you walk in and you see a familiar face, "Hey, how are you doing?" Or at the bar or at the small group, and you see somebody and you recognize them, "Hey, how are you doing?" So you sit by them. Now you're talking to them, because they already know you, and then the chemistry kicks in. You're like, "Hey, let's," and maybe it works out for you, whatever. I mean, whatever. Okay, but at least that point, it's not a blunt brute force try to. You see what I'm saying? It's a warm-up relationship. It's a relationship that you've been working on for a long time. And so by the time you get there, you've earned the right to say whatever it is you say. You know what I'm saying? So again, I got to come up with a better example on that one. But anyway, so
no, I get the point. But like my last question, because I know you got to, like, it's 10 o'clock right now, and we put 30 minutes towards this. Okay. My last question is, like, let's say I have the pricing page up. I have my good, better, best. I'll probably leave the add-ons off this particular page and just focus on the good, better, best, and then take that offline once we actually get a lead, so people can visualize and say, okay, there's 3 levels. Okay. Then like, do you recommend, like, there's a couple call to actions that you can have, or do you have something on your mind on that?
Well, we're kind of getting into the weeds on it, and so I will say it's not a bad idea to have your add-ons on there, though. You know what I'm saying? I like the good, better, best, but the most popular in the middle. Love that. But it's not a bad idea to have like a 4 up or a 6 up below with a few add-ons. I do agree with not having 50 add-ons. People go crazy with it. You'll get them in the week. You'll confuse the hell out of them. You know what I'm saying? But to have a couple basic add-ons that show pricing and value stack and stuff like that typically it's not too bad of an idea. So
okay. The question I have is, like, there's basically 3 call to actions at this point on that particular page. There's number 1, book an appointment on a Calendly or whatnot. I guess there's 2 that I'm getting at. Book your appointment, and then number 2, do you recommend saying, "Hey, watch our webinar," like have a hot call to action, like watch our webinar on how these programs work and turn clicks into paying customers?
If I were in that scenario, they're not going to buy straight off the website. So I would definitely have the schedule a consult to talk about and see if this is a good fit for you. I wouldn't have another call to action except for an exit pop up. I would not, you know what I'm saying? I'm sorry. I do like the idea of a timer slider kind of thing, meaning if they've been on this page for, I don't know, 4 or 5, 3, 4, 5, a while. In other words, don't make it like a 20-second deal. Make it like they've been reading for a while. They either left or whatever. They've come back. So if they've left, right, and they come back, they'll see a slider. Hopefully that'll jog them into moving. Or if they're actually reading all of that, then you might hit them just right at the right point. Like, okay, you know what, I've read enough, I'm ready to go, right? So I kind of like the idea of maybe a slider coming in just to hit them over the head about scheduling that appointment, okay? Or maybe even a dynamic chat support. Hey, listen, I see you've been on the page for a few minutes. I just want to see if there's any questions I can help you with. That's probably, I would have to think about it a little bit, but having the schedule now on the site would be good. Wait 2 minutes, and then a real chat support person comes, hey, can I help? I see you've been on the site for a couple minutes. Can I help you real quick? And then an exit pop up to try to maybe drive them into like a Facebook group because they're leaving. You know what I mean? So try to always try to catch them out the door. You know what I mean? Always try to catch them out the door. And I gotta go, man. I got a coaching call. I gotta get in.
Awesome. Well, thanks, Lee. Have a great day. We'll do this again.
Thank you so much, Rahul. Let me know when you get the video ready, man. Send me a link whenever you get it ready, and we'll get it out there. So
you got it. Perfect.
right.
Thank you.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.